Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Week 3 NFL prediction. Coming off of a 12-4 record last week, bringing my season total to 23-9. Not a bad start. Could have probably been better if I didn't make some stupid picks, but hey, it's part of the job, right? Couple of plugs as always. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel, Waggle, or Prize Picks. By using my codes on G Fuel or Waggle, you'll save a discount on any other awesome products. And by using my code at sign up on Prize Picks, you're gonna guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. Another reminder that this week's free square is Patrick Mahomes. All he needs is 1 yard. But always remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. So, kicking off this week on Thursday Night Football, we have got the Miami Dolphins at Buffalo. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the Bills are going to win 33-0. The Bills are going to go out there and paddle them from one end to the other. No, I know what a trap game is, and this is 100% a trap game. Now, do I think the Buffalo Bills will win? Yes, I hope they do. I really would hope they would. But I don't doubt that Miami will score. We saw last week they can score. Also, Buffalo, lingering injuries. Matt Milano right now sounding like he might be out once again. As much as it may not seem like it, I think these two teams do have respect for each other. Just that I think the better team with the better coach is going to win the game because logically that makes sense. Give me Buffalo 27-17. Now, moving on to Sunday, we have got the Falcons at the Panthers. I'll take the Falcons 24-20. This is going to be a much closer game than it should be, but I am assuming Penix is going to do a lot better this week. He's not playing the Brian Flores-led defense. I don't think the Panthers defense is all that great to begin with, obviously. I think Penix and Bijan are about to have themselves a good day here. Also, as far as Atlanta goes, I know they have a few injuries, AJ Terrell being one, but I still don't think they will lose to the Carolina Panthers. And the next game we have is going to be Green Bay at Cleveland. I've actually prepared a eulogy. Today we gather not in sorrow, but in celerity to remember the Cleveland Browns, a team that taught us the true meaning of loyalty, patience, and eternal hope. Though victories were rare, the spirit of the dog pound never wavered. The Browns were much more than wins and losses. They were grit, they were heartbreak, and they shared a bond of cheering no matter the score. So let us lay them to rest, not with tears, but with pride. Because in Cleveland, the Browns will never truly be gone. They live on in every fan who still wears orange and brown waiting for the impossible comeback. Rest easy, Cleveland. You will be gone, but not forgotten. Packers win 30-0. And that'll bring us to Houston at Jacksonville. Give me the Houston Texans. I think they're going to get their first win of the season, and I think it'll be a pretty good one. I'm going to go ahead and say they'll score 30 points. Jacksonville is going to score 21. Look, DeMeco Ryans has that defense playing some pretty good football right now, regardless of their record. Other than their run defense, which has been absolutely horrible. Like, they've been solid. And as far as the Jacksonville defense goes, well, they just got scolded by a burrowless Bengals. Also, with the friction between Trevor and Liam Cohen already beginning in week 2, I just don't think it's a good start there. I think the Jags are going to kind of get whopped here. Look for a Nico Collins legacy game. Now we've got the Bengals at the Vikings. Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. Vikings win this 33-28. This is going to be a shootout. Carson Wentz is going to have a great game. And the Bengals offense will still find a way to be productive because they have Jamar Chase. I think this is actually going to be a very entertaining game. I think it's going to be a very good game. But I also have a feeling Carson Wentz, like I said, he's just going to dice up the Bengals defense. Isn't it insane that this was supposed to be Joe Burrow versus JJ McCarthy? Like, it's absolutely nuts. Feels like that time the final 4 teams were Tom Brady, Case Keenum, Blake Bortles, and Nick Foles. I'm taking the Vikings. Now we've got the Steelers at the Patriots. This is going to be a classic shit show. I got the Patriots winning 17-14. I think this is going to be a snooze fest. I think it's going to be boring. I think both quarterbacks will have a turnover. And I'm expecting a lot of long drives with not a lot of points coming out of them. These are two very gritty coaches. These are two extremely classic football teams. There will be a lot of attention on this game, but New England, the home team here, will walk out victorious. Now we've got the Rams at the Eagles, 2-0 versus 2-0. Probably a dumb pick on my part, but I'm actually taking the Rams. I think the Rams are going to win this game 26-20. Listen, I think the Rams defense has been pretty damn good this year. I think their offense, when it's clicking, looks a lot more explosive and dangerous than Philly's has so far this year. And I think flat out when it comes to head coaching, Sean McVay is not only better than Sirianni, but arguably the best head coach in the league at the moment. Looking for Saquon to have a pretty slow day here. And I think once again, Devontae Adams is going to be the deciding factor in this game. I think Puka is going to be plenty occupied. So it will be up to grandfather here to ultimately get them out alive. Rams win. Now we've got the Jets at Tampa Bay, and I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win this game 36-13. Week 1, Jets had an offense, horrible defense. Week 2, Jets had a horrible offense, horrible defense. Week 3, they're gonna go play one of the hottest teams in the league right now with one of the best offenses in the league, and we're supposed to all of a sudden think things are gonna change? No, it's not going to, and Aaron Glenn is not a good head coach. I still do not understand why a guy who held the 3rd worst defense against the pass last year was just like the clear-cut go-ahead favorite for the Jets. It was dumb. Now we've got the 2-0 Colts facing the 0-2 Tennessee Titans. Never thought I would say this, but thank goodness the Colts are in this game, because the Titans so far this year, they have to be the biggest crowd-killing team in the league right now. It's been 2 weeks, man, and I have yet to be convinced that they can beat any team in the league, let alone the currently red-hot Indianapolis Colts, who, by the way, at this time, I admit I am wrong on them, but for all we know, they could be last year's Saints. I hope it's not. But with how Danny's been playing, with how that offense has been playing, with how JT's been running that ball, these guys should get past the Titans with absolutely no problem. Now, maybe there is a small chance Jonathan Taylor gets shut down, but even if that happens, Vanilla Vic himself is gonna run the ball right up the field. Take the shoe to win this one. Ooh, damn. 21-10. Now we've got the Broncos at the Chargers, and I gotta be honest, Denver fans, I feel like I've been pretty loyal to you guys. And this not so much has anything to do with your actual team or anything to do with your fan base, but I hope Sean Payton, even though Sean Payton's a great coach, I hope Jim Harbaugh beats the absolute fucking breaks off of him. Like I just mentioned, great coach Peyton is. He is also arguably one of the biggest assholes in the league right now. He's always been an ass. So to see him lose, not only does it feel good, but when it's to a division rival, it's probably gonna be even better. I'm looking for a heavy run committee here out of Los Angeles, considering the Denver Broncos just got annihilated by Jonathan Taylor. And that alone will keep him ahead in the scoreboard, seeing how good Los Angeles' defense has been. Also, if Omarion Hampton isn't good this game, he will never be good. Give me the Chargers 28-14. That'll bring us to the Saints at Seattle. I'll take Seattle to win 21-17, and then we'll have another week of the winless Saints fans claiming that their team is better than they actually are because they came close. They might be the new Seahawks fan base to me right now. I have heard some delusional shit out of the New Orleans fan base lately. Dude, your guys' secondary isn't even gonna know what's going on when JSN has 8 catches for 130 yards in the first 2 quarters. And now we've got Dallas at the Bears. This is another game that, you know, it's a trap game. Now, I will never pick the Bears again because of what they did to me last week. They humiliated me more than the time I humiliated myself by saying Derek Carr was going to lead the league in passing a couple years ago. Cowboys, they're not a perfect team, but they at least have a competent offense that can consistently get down the field and throw up points. There's too much dysfunction right now with Chicago. There's too much uncertainty. We know one thing for certain, and that's Romo Dunze is the new #1 receiver there. Otherwise, who knows what we're gonna get out of them every single week. Like, honestly, I'll take the Cowboys 30-17. Now we've got the undefeated Cardinals at the undefeated 49ers. And honestly, banged up or not, I'm taking the 49ers 21-17. Arizona has not looked that bad, but I have not been impressed by them. I mean, they beat the terrible Saints. They almost choked to the terrible Panthers. And also, if you haven't noticed, Arizona has not scored a point in the 4th quarter yet this year. Matter of fact, if you take the last 2 quarters of each game, so the last 4 total quarters, they've thrown up 10 points total in those quarters. They're not a second half team. I don't think they're gonna be able to get past San Francisco. Mac Jones, Johnny Bones, Game of Thrones, 49ers win the game. Let's move. Now we have the 0-2 Chiefs versus the 0-2 Giants. Yes, that's a real sentence. Look, I've said it since the end of week 1. I am not convinced Kansas City is a bad team. I seriously, I'm not. I've seen this movie too many times. However, if they do lose this week to the Giants, I will start to consider the fact that they might not actually be good. I'm gonna take the Chiefs here. I don't think they're gonna win by a lot, but I think they will walk out with the score like 27-24, and the Chiefs will finally put a win in their column. Now, the thing about the Giants is, honestly, they're not that bad of a team. It just depends on their quarterback play. If Russ actually plays, like, they can score, but if he goes back to Russ in week 1, they're done. And ending with Monday Night Football, we've got the Lions at the Ravens. This is gonna be a good one. 2 teams that just went off last week. 2 quarterbacks who are probably neck and neck in the MVP combo as we speak. Oh, Goff's week 1 might have held him back a little bit, but still. 2 defenses that are probably gonna get scorched. Like, this has everything laid out to be cinema. When it comes to choosing the winner here, I am gonna go with Baltimore because I think they have actually looked more consistent than Detroit so far. But I am expecting this to be one of the highest scoring games of the year. I'm taking Baltimore to win in a replicated score from last week's game between the Cowboys and the Giants. Baltimore is taking this 40-37. Also, this is my dad's pick, so Dad, what do you think?
Hello, WyattzWorld junkies. It's the Fossil back for this week's cameo pick. Hey, last week, if you might remember, I picked Philadelphia Eagles to go into Kansas City and win, which they did. So now I'm 2-0, and Kansas City is 0-2. Boy, I don't know. I'm sure the other 32 franchises are just as happy about that as we are here in Minnesota. And Kansas City, I think, travels to the Giants, and the Giants played pretty good. Could be 0-3, but that's not the game I'm picking. I'm picking the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens game. Lions going to Baltimore, all hepped up after their big win over Chicago. Hell, Minnesota beat Chicago, and you know the way we're doing. That doesn't say too much for them. And then the Ravens are 1-1 after the big loss or blowout to Buffalo, giving up a lot of yards. But I think in this game, the Ravens get their stuff together, and they stop Detroit, and then they score on Detroit a lot. I think Detroit goes in here, and they shit the bed. I look at the Ravens to win this game 31-17. All you WyattzWorld junkies, have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Okay, folks, and that is going to be all for my Week 3 NFL prediction. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to let me know in the comments where you disagree or agree, and feel free to show any support because you know I appreciate any and all help. In the meantime, I'm going to get this whipped up so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday, and I will see you in the next upload.